Well, I'm not supposed to be here today on this stage. Instead, I'm supposed to be with Mr. Wang at the 53rd farm in China. If I can show this slide right here. I'm supposed to be a farmer working side by side with him. Why is that? So this is the story I want to share with you. I was born in a very nice family. My father was educated at NYU, and he served as an accountant. My mother was an architect. So after the first child was born, we were living in Beijing, we were having fun in the capital city of China, near Forbidden City. However, when the time I was 11 years old, everything changed because the Cultural Revolution of China started. I was so young. I didn't know what's going on. There's so many people come to my house and taking away our properties because they wanted people to punish us, to punish people that are born in the intellectuals, that people have knowledge, that people come back from other countries. And people associate with business. So our family was associated with all that. And my father was accused as an American spy. So as an 11 years old boy, I was confused, I was not happy. I knew there could be a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties ahead of me because they kicked us out of the Beijing city and then went to another city, Wuhan. My father was detained in his workplace. My mother was sent to 500 miles away to design a truck factory. So I was the only one at home. I serve as an adult and take care of my sister and take care of a lot of things, although we do not have a lot of things. And when I get into school, I get a humiliation all the time because people call me names. They call me the capitalist little dog. They call me the son of an American spy. And they also said, I'm hopeless. I'm a hopeless person. I did not believe that. I did not want to be like that. So I tried to study hard. I tried to study, make all A's. I was a straight A student in the middle school. I grew bigger and bigger and participated in all the sports and basketball, and eventually I joined the school's basketball team and compete. So I was anticipating to going to high school. That was my dream, to get an education. However, that was denied. So one day when I was 16 years old, the director of the class told me, with a big smile on his face, he said, you are going to the 53rd farm to get a re-education. So the dream to go to high school to get an education was diminished. I got no other choice. 16 years old, packed all my belongings, get to the school, and trucked all the way a long time to the mountain, away from my house and away from home, away from everybody, and to be independent, to work as a laborer in the farm. First, we wanted to build a labor camp on top of the mountain, so I joined a very small group of boys to go up to the wild place, no man's land, so all the wild animals. And we have nowhere to live. And we found an abandoned water buffalo house. We shoveled out of the feces and then moved rice straws inside as bedding and started to sleep over there. And we worked for the next several months as construction workers, as farmers, planted tea trees, planted crops, and also built a shelter for us. Finally, we moved in this shelter. Although there's no windows, although the temperature is cold in the winter and hot in the summer, 5, 6 people crowded in one room. So we were excited. Finally, we moved out of the water buffalo house. But there was no electricity. There was no clean water. There's no facility. And we had to drink the water and share with the animals. So the animals, they do their routines in the water pound, right? And the pigs, the water buffalo and dogs, and we have to wash our clothes and drink and cook using that water. And quickly we got sick. A lot of people get sick. I got diarrhea, so much pain, and without any help, without medicine, because we're in the no man's land. And I found out some farmers, they drink something different. They boil the water, they put the tea leaves into the water and brew for a while. And they asked me, hey, you better try this to help your diarrhea. I said, that's so bitter, but finally I tried. And getting better and better. That was the first encounter of the benefit of green tea. And soon, the place is full of insects. We had to battle the insects. The mosquitoes at night, flies during the day, and the fleas, they work around the clock. So we will have all these insect bites all over our body. The rash, the blisters, so itchy each day. On top of that, they carry all these dangerous germs. So I actually called it the worst type of malaria. Malaria was a not very good experience. So when I got cold, I got really, really cold and shaking like this. My teeth were fighting each other like that. And suddenly, I got so hot. Sweat come down, and a lot of pain in the body, in the head, and so weak. So that was after 2 weeks, I was a little recovered. And then sent right back to the work. So the work, when we talk about the work, is not 9 to 5. It's likely like 5 to 7, or even 4 to 9, like that. During the busy days, our rice plantation. So this is the picture, the rice plantation. We have to get up at 4 o'clock to pull out all these seedlings of rice and then carry them into the field. So after breakfast, we go back and then jump into the muddy water and to plant the rice. To bend our body 90 degrees, you can see 90 degrees. And then within 100-degree heat, the sun is baking on my back, and then the steam come out from the water. And the water is filled of human and animal manures. So each time the motion is to push down the rice, and then the splash right on my face, in my eyes, in my mouth. And the sweat coming down from my head and dropping into the water. So that's kind of work. On top of that, leeches in the water, biting our flesh, getting the blood sucked out. So that's kind of condition. I cannot do too much because if I deal with the leeches and I'll be behind, I'll be in trouble at night because during those study sections. So I have to bear that kind of suffering. And then every time we got out from the water paddy, and we got bloody legs. So that's kind of work, day after day, week after week, month after month. Until about I was 20 years old. I was a young man now, not a teenager, not a little boy. I was a young man, but still there's no hope. There's a lot of hard labor ahead of me. And I was thinking, this is something, you cannot get worse than this, but actually things got worse when my life was in danger. Because during that time, I started to doubt. The Cultural Revolution. That's completely wrong. Send us here. We're doing all kinds of work, but without education to make us what? Brainwash us? So I started to listen to the shortwave radio, the Voice of America from Taiwan, some other radio stations. And the first time I heard, hey, people need to be treated equally. And people should have the opportunity to get their education. That's something new for me. I started talking to my peers. I started talking to my friends. I said, we got to change this. This is wrong. They're telling me all the lies. But this type of activity is considered as a crime. And unfortunately, there was an informant within our small group, and he turned me in to the local party boss. And the party boss called a committee meeting and tried to deal with this. One of the party committee came over to me. He said, stop doing all kinds of things. You know what they want to do? They want to drive a jeep to the village, arrest you, convict you, and sentence you as a counter-revolutionary. That's the name of the crime. So I was a little shocked. I didn't do too much. I did not have anything, but you think you are the son of an American spy, okay? And then American spy would try to have an armed resistant. What kind of crime is that? I was really scared. Soon later, the police came over. The police came over, took me to the security station, interrogated me for several hours, and then sent me to a construction site to build a dam, waiting for sentence. That was very, very hard work too, but that's nothing compared to the stress I had in my mind. I was thinking about what's going to happen to me. What's going to happen to me? I'm going to die. I'm 20 years old. Huh? I'm going to leave my family. I'm not even to say goodbye to my family. So there's a kind of movie going through my head. The movie is like, okay, the Jeep comes, and I got arrested, and I got sentenced. I got put into the ditch, and then the firing squad. Okay, that's the end of the world. So I told myself, is there anything I can do? Any help I can get? Not from my parents. They're in trouble. Not from my friends. Nobody could help me. Can I escape? No. Everybody was watching me. Boy, I told myself, unless there's a miracle, I'll be dead man. Well, miracle happened. Miracle happened. During one cold morning, I was pushing a cart with 2 wheels, loaded with 800 pounds of dirt, downhill to the base of the dam. With high speed, suddenly one of the 2 wheels fell out, and the cart stopped right there. My flying body was hitting on that cart. My right leg, the front bone, was broken in 2 pieces with a bang. That was the first serious injury in the construction site. So the headquarters of the 53rd Farm told the local committee, hey, you need to take care of this boy. Well, that was the word from the top. I should be taken care of. So they sent 8 people with a makeshift stretcher made of chairs, carry me down to the mountain. During the journey, one guy whispered into my ear. He said, you're so lucky you broke your leg. I said, yes, I feel so good. Although I was in the greatest pain in my life, but I feel the Jeep is not coming to get me. So actually they sent me home. They sent me home to recover for several months. But during that time, Chairman Mao died after 26 years of ruling China. And his wife got arrested. And she was in jail. I was not. So I survived the whole thing. I survived the Cultural Revolution. That was 10 years of misery. Oh boy. Then what? There must be change. There must be hope for me. So I was thinking, maybe I need to get back to the 53rd Farm to find out what's happened. So I went back to the farm. Everybody treated me so well. They said, hey, you were right. I remember you talk about it. Yeah, you were right. The Cultural Revolution is totally wrong. And everybody wanted to be my friends. So I have a lot of friends. Even the local party boss told me. He said, you know what? I know you're a good guy. I know. That's why I saved your life. See, I'm the one that stopped the Jeep. I know that was a lie. I know that. But we were looking forward to something new. The college entrance exam was reinstalled. So everybody who passed the college exam can go to college, become a college student. So I was determined. I need to try. I need to be, hey. But what people told me, everybody told me, said, hey, forget about it. You know, we have no knowledge whatsoever. We spent 5-6 years in the farm, but didn't learn anything. But I did not believe that. I want to try. I tried hard. But I failed miserably first year. Then what? And everybody said, okay, you maybe think of something else to do. But I said, no, I need to study hard. I need to study even harder. I work during the day, I study at night. And when it's cold, I was running around in the room and then sit down and study until my feet and my hands are frozen again. And during the summer, it was so hot, I have to pour cold water on top of me and to cool me down. So this type of work, and again, day, months and months. And the last stretch of the exam, I have to work from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. When I get so tired, I use a needle to pinch myself like this, wake me up. Finally, When I was 23 years old, I beat the odds of 1 out of 100 people participated getting to the college. I got to college. I got to the best university with the best scenery university called Wuhan University. I studied like a sponge. Studied. But also I had a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun playing basketball with those big guys. After graduate, my goal was to be a scientist. My goal to be maybe to get Nobel Prize. And then, but there was no PhD program in China. But my father told me, he said, all these good universities are in the United States because he studied there. And you can go to the US. There's something called Coca-Cola you can drink. And there's something called hamburger you can eat. Now we call them junk food. So I was determined to go to the US to get a higher education after all these complicated process. I did. What I did was my English was very poor, but I have a big dream. I have $20 in my pocket to jump on the airplane and come here. I'm facing the whole new world. Everything was new to me. And then I studied, I get to my master's, get my PhD and postdoc studies, and finally, I got my job. I got, I think, the best job in the world at Georgia Regents University. I was there, and then started my family right here in Augusta. So I'm living my dream. So I would like to end my talk by saying Happy New Year to you, because today is actually the New Year's Day of the Year of the Horse. So in Chinese, that will be 恭喜发财. Thank you.